To wyglądało trochę inaczej poprzednio.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
Okej. To jest... Okej.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
To jest wszystko dziwne.
Wow. Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okej.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Wiele opcji.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Ale nie, jeżeli pójdę na górę, to nic nie znajdę. Znowu. Idę w dół.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Nope. Poszedłem w dół.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. At last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation.
Im dłużej tu chodzę, tym bardziej to przerażające.
Przerażające. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star field, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. While he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control. That this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Okay. Podejście trzecie?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Żadnego śladu,
What
że
could
to
it
jest przejście.
mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody.
Jakie było
He
to
began
hasło?
wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk.
Okej, to się
What could
zmieniło.
its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below
2854.
his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret pin number. 28. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed
co?
for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Że co? W ogóle czemu ten gabinet jest taki duży? Nieludzko duży, go tam ktoś dokleił drugą połowę gabinetu. Nie chcę muzyki New
Feeling
Age.
soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Okej. Nie było się z windą. Okej.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read
Ucieczka.
Mind Control Facility.
To jest jakieś coś jak ucieczka. Spróbujmy
Although
tędy
this
przejść.
passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Aha. Długi ten korytarz.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At
Okej.
this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Okej. Nie wiem, co się dzieje.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life.
No.
Farewell, Stanley.
Whoa, no, 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 no.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Nie. Przeżyłem. Przeżyłem. Przeżyłem.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Właśnie, czego narrator chce?
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Czy to jest zakończenie? Button sounds. Hej. Biuro. Czy to jest wszystko... Wow, to jest wszystko splonowane, prawda? Tutaj mamy plany całego biura. Kolejne sekcje były rozbudowywane, natomiast pierwszą sekcją było pomieszczenie, w którym mam wybór dwóch par drzwi. Ważne było, żeby dobrze wybrać napięcie. Może nie napięcie, pacing, jakby to przetłumaczyć? Dobrze wybrać ton, w jakim jest przejście przez ten korytarz. Innymi słowy, korytarz był przesuwany kilkakrotnie, żeby upewnić się, że grasz dotrze do niego w odpowiednim momencie. Ten pokój został stworzony na samym początku. Cała gra powstała jako eksploracja zaprzeczenia, które tworzyła ta gra. Okej. Biuro. Okej, czyli to jest... Gdyby ktoś mógł pozbyć się tego tekstu, wtedy mógłbym zobaczyć, na czym jest ta gra. Punktem Stanley Parable remixu HD jest przegrana. Albo tu jest zapisane wygrana. Czyli oszalałem. Więcej zakończeń, mniej zakończeń, więcej narratorów, mniej. Po drugim trailerze zaplanowaliśmy, żeby ludzie wysłali mail do narratora. Okej. Ale w sensie to jest większe niż gra, te napisy końcowe, ale to nie o to chodzi, prawda? To jest coś więcej jeszcze, mam wrażenie. Biuro Stanleya. Ewolucja. Najpierw październik 2011, marzec 2012 i luty 2013. Pierwsza wersja biura, druga wersja biura. Wow, trochę trwało tworzenie tej gry. To jest poziom, który William, twórca poziomów gry, zaprojektował jako dowód tego, jako pokaz tego, co umie tworzyć. Wygląda faktycznie imponująco. Okej. To są łańcuchy. Tak, to jest ta winda, prawda? Czyli na początku było wolność na górze, licznik na dole, ale potem opuścili to, kiedy okazało się, że gracze nie są w stanie zapamiętać, co jest na górze, co jest na dole i po prostu połączyli. Okej, tam jest wyjście, prawda? Też macie wrażenie, że to może być coś więcej? Zending. Inne zakończenie gry. Zending levers. Cóż to jest? Zending model. Zostało stworzone, ale potem zmienione przed zakończeniem. Och. Escape menu. Było zakończenie, które działało tylko wtedy, kiedy gracz zrestartował z menu endingu. Okej, czy... Tu jest coś jeszcze? Czy może tam jest wyjście? Freedom ending. Zakończenie wolności. Okej. Zegary. Room szefa. Room szefa. Pokój szefa. Też słyszeliście głos przed sekundą?
Oh, I don't know. How about they're throwing a surprise party for him for all his button pushing? Does that sound plausible? See how it's impossible for the player to do anything in this room.
Okej. Czyli to jest, rozumiem, różnego rodzaju outtake'i narratora.
It's the kind of thing you pick up on intuitively.
No dobrze. Tu było gdzieś wyjście, prawda? Tak mi się wydaje przynajmniej, że gdzieś było wyjście. Czy mogę po prostu wyjść stąd?
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Czy po prostu nacisnąć off?
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game.
Okay.
So as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever Do choose it.
Okej. Poziomie Alang 2 to było Stanley Parable. Gra, o której będę myślał przez następny tydzień, jak nie dłużej. Serio, powinien się zagrać w tą grę sami. Jest genialna. Do zobaczenia. Hej!